Hello, I am Mike of Nearly Enough Dice. This is the Kerbal Space Program. Right, I kind of said that I was going to leave the final rescue of Stelielia wreckage until later. Basically, I was going to, launch a rescue craft, and then try and deorbit when I didn't have anyone in it. I'm going to have a go and see what happens. So I've got myself on a suborbital trajectory with a periapsis height of 45, which should be enough. And quite frankly, if I skip out the atmosphere, that's probably for the best. I think that it may well be that repositioning the research lab was actually a good thing in the end. I think I've now got I think the line of thrust is now more through the center of mass than it was. Not sure. So yeah, I'm about to hit atmosphere. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. This has all the hallmarks of being a really, really stupid idea. So, we'll see how this happens. Not quite sure which way I want to be trying to aim. Oh, there we go. Atmosphere. It has been very, very unstable, and I had thought of putting some drogue chutes as well as the actual chutes. Oh, there's that place I want to go to, the mountain anomaly. There you go. I've got the actual sheets, but I probably should have. I could have put on. I also thought about putting on the air brakes, but they were a bit big, and I've not used air brakes before. And I've just realised that I'm a complete moron, because one of the reasons was the air brakes were really, really big, and they kind of if I'd put them there, they would extend down there. I could have just moved the batteries down further. That's a thing I could have done. So you can see here, I've got the SAS pointing retrograde, and you can see how much effort the SAS is having to put in order to keep stable. So I'm gonna want to keep an eye on that as we go down, as we get further down. So it's a couple of minutes to, well, it's about 4 minutes to periapsis. So I'm just gonna zoom on ahead. Not quite sure where I'm going to be coming down. I'm also wondering whether or not I should start decelerating using the amazing 276 delta V that I've got left to me. There's almost no point. So we're going to zoom ahead, I think probably until I start seeing fire. I suspect that is going to be the best time to stop. Yeah, so we're just going to see how this goes. Okay, so still over 4 minutes to go. In fact, my time to periapsis is going up. Of course it is. It would be. Yes, it would. So now I'm losing stability at this stage, and I rather suspect the game. Well, I suspect this craft is just unstable. and it is just going to tumble, and there isn't going to be a stable attitude, which is where some air brakes would have come in nicely, or some drogue chutes would have been just fantastic. But I'm also not going to be able to. I'm not going to be able to use my delta V to slow myself down, because the craft just isn't going to be. Well, there's my apoapsis height coming in, so I'm getting captured. That's not helping. So I'm currently pointing anywhere except retrograde, which is the direction I would like to be pointing. If I had RCS, I might still be able to do something, but I don't have RCS because I ran out when I tried grabbing that thing a second time. If this ever does go vaguely pointing retrograde, I think I might give a bit of a puff on the old engines. Because I might as well give it a go. I mean, it's not going to hurt. It's going to keep me vaguely pointing the right way. So long as the parachutes don't burn off. That's the only thing I really have to worry about. Well, and also the pod itself. So that's about to run out, and I'll probably just go back to tumbling in a second. Because obviously the engine gimbal is going to give me some measure of stability. Now I suspect at the moment I'm just kind of balanced because the craft was, the craft was right on. It's like it was balanced right on retrograde, and now I'm just going to turn off SAS. I'm going to see if there's an attitude that it kind of likes, which appears to be sideways, which is not what I want. I don't think that's a good idea. Things I don't mind losing. I don't mind losing the solar panels. I don't particularly mind losing the batteries. RCS bits and pieces. It's really parachutes, the claw, and that pod. Well, I suppose actually there's quite a lot of structure in between the parachutes and that pod. As you can see, it is just tumbling. What are my G-forces like? Let's take away orbit and put on surface. Where are my G-forces? There we go. Well, they're not been too bad just now. I'm getting a few indicators. Oh, the hottest part of the radial parachutes. That's the exact opposite of good. Stelielia, very happy. I have no idea why Stelielia would be happy, but Stelielia is happy. Could do with anything other than those parachutes being the hottest thing on the craft, really. Parachutes are important. I need them. It also must be said it says hottest part. Oh, but it's coming down. It's coming down. Critical thermal percentage is coming. Let's go back up again. This may be one of my more spectacularly stupid ideas. Hottest part is now. It's a. Did I lose some solar panels? Oh yeah, they didn't make much of a fuss. The solar panels didn't make a fuss when they left. are we doing? Apart from being on fire, we're alright. Critical heat percentage is coming. It's oscillating an awful lot. Right, let's start pointing. It seems to want to point vaguely prograde. So let's make it point prograde and see if that helps at all. I'm not liking that critical heat percentage. That is now coming down, and I think it's looking like it's staying down. We have survived! We lost the solar panels, well, at least the sticky out solar panels. I've got ordinary solar panels, and they're still there. We've survived! Well done. Right, let's grab one of those. They're on 1,000, which will do risky to deploy. Mysteriously. But we have survived, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. Colour me surprised. Let's turn the SAS off. We don't really need it now. RCX support's still a bit hot. What was our highest G forces? 3.6. No, 3.7 really. So that could have been a lot worse. Safe to deploy parachutes. What was our altitude? We're actually quite... Right, let's do it now. Right, so we'll bring down the the vertical speed. Don't care about the horizontal speed. Now here's hoping that when I get to about 1,000 meters and these open up, that 4 parachutes is going to be enough for this particular item. Still got a ways to go, so that's all right. No problems. I think you can fast forward a little bit, though. Right, so I currently got at minus 79. I'm getting 79 straight down on something that's not really designed for crashing. So now we've opened up. Now here's a question. Kind of wish I was falling into the ocean. I originally thought, given the way everything was, I was going to end up... Where am I? Where am I? Where am I? There I am. No. Is that me? Yeah. Oh, quite close to the spaceport, actually. Don't know what the crash resistance is, because normally I would be okay with coming down at 6 meters a second on landing legs or into the ocean. But I'm not really quite so happy about the notion of coming down onto rock. Right, there's me shadow. Right, let's put on the SAS again. Can I make any difference to the way I am pointing? Now I suspect not, because we now have gravity being a pain. So I can kind of swing backwards and forwards. I don't think you can even see me swinging backwards and forwards. So this could be a bit of a rough jolt. Yeah, I can't even do much in the way of rotating. I'm actually almost considering getting out and jumping at the last second. That actually might be her best bet. Getting very close to the ground. Well, let's see what happens, eh? Where's the shadow? So we're coming down. We're actually not too far off the space. I wonder if I can see any of the space percenter bits and pieces. No, I can't. So I'm coming down in some grasslands that is not a huge distance away from the space center. At just about 12 miles an hour, which, I mean, apart from the fact this isn't really designed to take impact, you'd actually survive if you just fell. It's all a question of whether or not this explodes landing at 6 miles an hour at 12 miles an hour. No! Yes! Ha ha ha! We live. Everything else can just explode and I won't. Yes! Let's just free the pivot. Oh, I could have freed the pivot. That probably would have helped, actually. We have survived. Let's recover that vessel. I really should not have done it that way. I really, really should not have done it that way. But, I did hardly anything else on this mission the way I should have done it. So there you go. Wow, we got a point of data from somewhere. We got 3.3 science from being in orbit around Midness. That's a bit weird. Okay, there you go. 3,299 funds, but that's okay. I've got 6.678 million. Crew level 1 and is now part of my crew. So hurrah! Wow, I can't believe that worked. I've actually got a fair crew here, actually. Who's assigned? Oh, Bob. Bob's in the... Oh, I see. Yeah, these are people I need to go rescue. Bob's still on Juno, poor lad. I don't know if I'm ever getting him back. Where's Stelielia gone? Is she not in this list? There we go. She's an engineer. I don't know what she's doing in the research pod, but she's an engineer. Who's escaped from Minmus and orbited around Kerbal. Well done, you. So there you go. That is a successful mission. I have ticked that box. And on that note, thanks very much for watching. Like and subscribe if you're enjoying these videos. Come visit nearlifedice@nearlifedice.com. We're also on Facebook and Twitter. Until next time, reach the stars and bring them safely home.